lost their lives trying to reveal the secret. The secret has been hidden from the world for far too long. But now,
in order to become successful, a lot of times you have to find your zone that's comfortable for you.
When you come to that crossroad and you get to a certain age where you have that epiphany where what the hell am I going to do with the rest of my life, and you don't even have a plan yet, that's when it's time to start writing your shit down.
Sometimes, life decisions and life choices steer you another path, but, mistakes are given, being a human. We don't have to be perfect.
One day the world's going to have to come around and recognize that, yeah, this is different, but there's nothing like this out here.
You have to let your imagination run wild when it comes to your career, period.
Most people only plan for what they think they can get. The universe doesn't like that. The universe wants you to go for what you think is impossible.
Dr. King said your character is built not during times of comfort and convenience, but during times of conflict and controversy.
When you see an obstacle, don't let it deter you. You either can go over it, around it, or through it, depending on your own strength.
I've been through a lot of stuff in life, but never once have I felt like this is the end of my path.
You have to put up your own money. That's independence. If someone else is putting up the money, that's dependence.
If you don't see yourself coming out as a boss at that place, get the fuck out of there.
they can no longer keep it from us.
Peace, Kaba.
Hey, peace to you, brother, man. It's good to be out in LA, man. It's something else.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Where you at right now?
I'm in my room.
Okay. You're in New York, right?
Oh yeah, man, New York. Yeah.
New York. Okay, definitely. So, man, how's everything been? Since last time I spoke with you, what's going on?
Brother,
What's new?
it's excellent, man. We've been doing some work, going places, doing things, bringing information to the community, man.
That's great.
Yeah. Yesterday, man, we came from Rochester, man, the land of Frederick Douglass.
Wow. Okay.
And they have a phenomenal Frederick Douglass resource center up there.
Okay.
Owned and operated by the community. You know, there's a family, the Hunt family that owns the spot, man. They got a place look like a movie house in one part. They got a huge reception area. It's a place, man, that you don't know how good we're doing sometimes.
Wow.
You know, because you get caught up in so much negativity. There's a lot of great things happening out here, man.
Wow. High's like heavy on the state of the arts. It's nice. It's a beautiful building, huh?
Yes. I mean, it's multifunctional.
Wow.
You could show a movie. You could, that's where all the speakers come and speak up there. That's where I spoke on Sunday night.
Oh, great.
And they have everything that a community would need. It's a multifunctional center owned and operated by the community. And Frederick Douglass's gravesite is not far from there.
Okay, I didn't know he was
buried. That's where he's from. That's where he's known to be from.
He's from Rochester, New York.
Yeah,
okay.
That's where he delivered the 4th of July speech. You know, where he was, where he presented it to peoples of European descent and said, for me as a black man, what does the 4th of July mean to me?
Wow. Independence Day.
And he was dropping it right in front of them. And this was before the so-called Emancipation Proclamation.
Oh, wow. So that was in 18, what was that?
I'm not sure, brother, but he dropped that speech at a time. But he was up in that area really trying to work towards, various things,
Right, definitely. And he worked hand in hand with Harriet Tubman as well, right?
Yeah, they were in contact with each other.
Oh, definitely.
And he was also a woman suffragist, so he also had relationships and was aware of the works of people such as Sojourner Truth.
Okay.
Who is also, in fact, where I teach up in New Paltz, she lives within that area up there. She lived up there.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful.
And the library up in New Paltz is named Sojourner Truth Library, named after her.
Oh, that's amazing. That's dope.
And Harriet Tubman is up in Auburn, New York.
Auburn. Okay, so is her gravesite there?
Yeah, her gravesite is there also. That's where she died at the age of 93, man. This sister used to go out into the street with a basket and collect money and food for the senior citizens home that she ran in Auburn, and she was 93.
And she was 93 years old. You talking about some real strength.
Brother, I'm talking about embarrassing me if I think I have a hard time.
Right. If you start slowing down, you think about Harriet Tubman.
I asked for her spirit, man.
Definitely.
Whatever it was in her, man. I asked that come in me because then it embarrasses me because then I don't have a right to think I'm having it rough.
Right. Definitely. How are your children doing?
Oh, they're doing excellent, brother. Everybody's got health and peace of mind, man. It's all good.
That's good.
Yes, man. How about you and yours?
Everybody's good on my end. Can't complain.
Fantastic. Brother.
What did you think about the million man march?
Well, my thing is, man, I respect, everybody that chooses to do what they want to do.
Definitely.
And there were those that came back because on Sunday when I was in Rochester, there were folk that were just coming back from the march.
Oh, okay.
And they were truly motivated, man. They were hyped up and they were ready to do something. And on Monday, I met others because then I spoke at the Monroe Community College. That's really what I went up for.
Oh, you went to speak at Monroe Community College? Okay.
Yeah, up in Rochester. Beautiful campus, beautiful place.
Right.
And there were people that had come back from the march by Monday.
Okay.
For many people, it was very motivational, brother. It was powerful. A lot of young people were there. But you see, there's another faction of us that were, because I assisted in getting people from the Bronx to go to the first one 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I did not go to that march. I was very busy behind the scenes, and my being a student of Professor John Henrik Clark and concerns that he had raised, my respect for all those that do what they want to do. But my thing is, man, if you want to march to the nearest African-American owned store and spend your money.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because when you think of how much money was spent.
Right.
Let's say there were 1 million people there yesterday. Let's just say there was 1 million people at the march on Saturday.
Right.
If everyone spent $500, whether it be train, plane, or car, bus, when they stayed in the hotel, motel, or Holiday Inn, the food that they purchased, if that added up to $500, and we're not talking about the extra overtime paid that the police got.
Right.
We're not talking about the side ways in which money was made.
Okay.
We're talking straight up, each individual spending $500. You're talking about $500 million. Wow. Now, do you know what that could have done, according to Dr. Claude Anderson or
I definitely know.
We're talking one day, $500 million. Now, I think that had the Million Man March possibly been at a conference center, that it could have been Skyped in, or it could have been somehow brought into whatever across the world. And if right after that march, everybody got up and took half the money that they would have spent to get to the march and marched to a black-owned store, $250 million would have been spent on that one day with black business.
Wow. You're talking about a major shift in black business.
I'm talking about, yes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about crippling white supremacy in America. That's what I'm talking about.
You're talking about a major crippling situation.
That's it. And now let's say we did that every week. And let's say we didn't even spend, let's say, $250, half of $500. Let's say we just decided to spend $20.
Right.
Now you're talking about $20 million. If 1 million people, now there's many more of us.
Definitely.
So while I applaud the march and respect the right to march and what it did for the spirit and the soul for so many of our people, if we really want to make a change, we have to make a change that stops traffic in America. Economic traffic.
Economic traffic. Wow.
Stop it.
Right.
Halt it. Okay? Every African female or male should decide I'm not going to buy that hair from people that don't look like me anymore. I'm not going to get my fingers done by people that don't look like me anymore. I'm not saying don't do the hair thing or the nail thing. I'm saying give business to black folk. At one time, black women, look at Madam C.J. Walker.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
She ran. Now, how all of a sudden did that come out of our hands like that? So, with due respect, I respect everybody do what they want to do.
Yeah.
But I decided on Saturday that I was going to spend money with my people. That's how I was going to honor. So I spent some money with my people on Saturday, and I found my way up to Rochester on Sunday. And I found myself amongst the Black Student Union and the diversity group in Monroe Community College. That's how I celebrated the weekend, brother.
Oh yeah, and that's a great way to celebrate it.
Yeah, with our people, doing things for our people, spending money with our people.
Right.
Because I did not need justice or else, because I realized black folk ain't getting justice. So I implemented the or else, and the or else is to spend money with our people.
So that demand, you feel like that demand is not a demand that it's a demand that will be ignored, continue to be ignored. Justice or else.
And you know, brother, to add to the concept of ignored, never on it.
Never on it.
Never on it. So the or else we need to implement automatically without the threat of justice or else. Just do it. You don't hear other cultural groups threatening justice or else. What they do is they just spend their money with their own people.
Right. Right. So you feel like the or else is irresponsible? Do you feel like that's an irresponsible statement, a threat?
No, I want to be careful, and I'm always careful because I understand that to pose the question or to pose the demand, put it on the table to be discussed.
Right. I agree.
So I realized that there were many peoples of African descent, male and female, many peoples of European descent, Asian descent, of all the descents, that have to be posed. And I understand that psychology. But for those who have already been there, for those of us who were there 20 years ago, for those of us like myself who marched with Dr. King in 1967, 66 or 67, I forget, I was in middle school. My mother was from Boston. And we used to always go to my mother's family's home during the Easter vacation, spring break.
Right.
And at that time, Dr. King was marching in Boston. He was scheduling a march in Boston. And so my mother, my cousin, and myself marched with him.
Wow.
So we're talking back when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
I'd done my marching. And the only thing to me, as Dr. Clark taught me, the only thing that marching does is wears out the soles of your shoes. And so for those who are tired of marching and want to make a change, you want America to have a heart attack? Do it economically, because that's the beat of their heart. That's where their God lives. Every coin, every bill says, "In God we trust." God is mentioned more on their money than in their holy books.
Wow.
You want to hurt them? You want to take them down? White supremacy, I'm speaking of. The idea of European domination and control. Hit them where their money is. And even if you're on public assistance, nobody tells you where you got to spend your money.
You're right about that. You're right.
And so I respect our people. And I stay away from speaking negatively because I know that we're all trying to do the best we can with what we have. I know that. And by matter of degree, brother Kenyatta, we are all in pain from this horrific ma'afa, this terroristic disaster that we've experienced, where we're all in the throes of it somehow, some way, myself included.
Right.
So I tend to stay away from categorizing or accusing or anything else. I just try to offer the community an opportunity to think about where we can go with this and how we can really make a change. If you really, really, really want to make a change, all you would have had to have done is keep your money in your pocket until you found the righteous place to spend it.
Wow.
Which is with people that look like you. You want to make a change.
Right.
Everybody's trying to figure out how can we do this.
Right.
I got the solution. Claude Anderson has the solution. George Fraser and sisters who are economic geniuses have the solution. Black Wall Street had the solution. That's why they had to bomb it.
Right. That's a movie that I think
Dr. King.
That's a movie I think that definitely needs to be made. That needs to really be for our people. Like I think the Black Wall Street story really needs to be told. You know, that's something that I would consider, you know, eventually getting involved in. Like I mean, the story itself is amazing. You know, these black people, they spent with each other. They didn't go outside of that circle. Yes. And they were an economic powerhouse. They became the African American economic powerhouse. And there were many Black Wall Streets. There were many different places where we pulled together our money and our resources, and we survived, and we became where we actually made others jealous, became envious of our work and what we were doing with one another. Absolutely. And then how do you think that it came about to where there were black people that felt like white ice was colder? Where did that integration
was the key, man. That was it. When they so hated us that they did not want us around them, it forced us to do business with each other. There was Dr. Margaret Wade Lewis was the chairperson for Black Studies up in New Paltz State University, where she was the one that hired me to teach where I am now.
Okay.
She was from Oklahoma. And she told me that there were 12 to 13 other cities in and around Tulsa that were like Black Wall Street.
Wow.
So it you know, in terms of Black Wall Street, probably the most successful of them, but all of the cities in and around that area of Tulsa, that was a hub of black economic business. Black Wall Street probably may have been the most developed city, which allowed it to be seen and developed the most. But you know what's interesting about Black Wall Street? The story of how it started, how Black Wall Street started was the fact that the community decided, because the European community would not clean up the streets of the black part of the city, on the other side of the tracks, the black community decided to clean up their own streets, and that started their own sanitation department.
That's how it began.
That's how it began. They
From
decided
sanitation.
to clean their own streets. And that's how they started the businesses. And then came the cleaners, and then came the banks, and then came the food markets, then came the transportation, the communication hubs. And that's how Black Wall Street was started. And they were so dedicated to each other that even Europeans did business in the black community.
Interesting.
There's a documentary on Black Wall Street. There's a coloring book on Black Wall Street for children. I used to show that when I was in the Board of Ed. I used to show that to the children to help them understand where we've been. And, you know, when you talk about, you know, what was the secret to their success? What was the secret to their balling?
Right.
They decided to clean up their neighborhood.
Just do it themselves.
That's it. They knew it wasn't going to come no place else. They knew they were not going to get no justice, so they implemented the or else.